Hey guys, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I hope you enjoyed this interview. Do you want to take your company to the next level and expand into international markets? The path to global success, I know, can be difficult, but with the right strategy and approach, your company can grow into an international enterprise. However, the process can also be daunting, particularly for small businesses. International expansion opens up a whole new market of people for your business, be it a product or a service, allowing it to grow significantly. So to ensure a smooth transition, it is critical for you to understand the challenges of international expansion and devise an international strategy ahead of time. So today's business clinic will focus on global expansion. What steps do you need to take to expand globally? And can a small business also expand beyond its immediate or current boundaries? What steps can you take to accomplish this? My guest is joining me right now, Mr. Nduka Udeh, who is the MD, Chief Executive Officer at Export and Sell Limited. Mr. Udeh, welcome to the program and thank you for joining us. Mr. Udeh, can you speak again? I didn't get what you said earlier.
Yeah, I said thank you very much for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now loud and clear.
Okay.
Now, let's begin really. The question is, do you need to grow big before you expand your business internationally? I think I should start from there. Do you need to grow into a
Yeah.
big business? Because when people are thinking about big businesses or international businesses, they actually do think that businesses must grow to a certain point before
Sure.
expansion.
You see, in the past, that used to be the case, but the world has changed. You have companies now who are doing business on social media and they are doing, 50, 60, $100,000 on a monthly basis. There's a company in Ghana. Most of their business is from their online platform. People buy raw shea butter from them and they are shipping it worldwide, doing over 100,000 a month. Now, solutions like Amazon, and I'm sure a lot of people know that Amazon has opened up to countries like Nigeria. So as a small business in Nigeria, you can put your products on Amazon, be it food products, cosmetic, leather products, art and craft, furniture, no matter what it is, you can sell on platforms like that. And then you are exposed to a global audience. So things have changed, social media, companies like Amazon has made it possible for any size of business to go global and earn in dollars.
So you don't even need to have a physical presence or an office presence in an international destination. Of course, we're in Nigeria. You don't need to have an office, for example, in the US, UK, or even Ghana to sell your product or your
Def-
service.
Definitely not. You see, when you look at what is going on now, as a Nigerian small business, with a little investment, you can even open a company in the USA. You can open in Canada, you can open in the UK without even having a physical presence, right? And there are solutions out there. You have solutions like Stripe, you have solutions like Mercury Bank that will give you a US bank account, and you are a local business here. You ship your products abroad, put it in warehouses, and then you sell to people. So again, things have changed. You don't even need to have an international presence to be anywhere now. You can do everything online. That is the new world we live in.
But what are the, we can do everything online, but it's also about knowledge because sometimes if you don't know those
Yes,
things, you are not able to accomplish and do these things. For instance,
definitely.
what you have said now, um, uh, what are the processes for you, like what you have said, can you just give us a practical example for someone listening or even those on a Zoom call right now, those inside
Yes.
can actually
So,
take, yes, to accomplish that?
so no, number one, like I said, let's take the case of small businesses who want to start selling on platforms like Amazon, right? Amazon will allow you to open a seller account using your local CAC document. So again, you're a small business, you've registered with CAC, they've put in processes to verify that, right? So again, if you go online, again, when we talk about knowledge, look, as a small business, YouTube now in the present world should be your friend. There's no information you search online. You have platforms like ChatGPT where you can ask questions and it will spit out the answers for you. right? There's really no excuse. When people say lack of knowledge, yes, a lot of people are waiting for you to spoon feed them with the knowledge. But again, you can go to YouTube and get access to so much information. How to set up your Amazon account is there. I've done a series of videos on that. Anybody can go to YouTube, search my name, they will see my videos pop up on how to do all these things. Even the process of setting up a foreign business account. And we have so many companies doing that. We have companies that we brought, we showed some of these things, and in 4 or 5 months, they are doing about $60,000 to $70,000 a month. They don't have a presence in the US, but they are selling, and people are paying money into the bank account that they opened remotely, right? So there's really no excuse why any small business should not be trading international in the present dispensation.
All right. Can you just give me some of the, okay, what's the important elements really to consider when you want to go global? What is one important element that you need to consider when you want to go global?
I think the biggest issue that I see with small businesses who are trying to go global is that they are failing to understand that what works in Nigeria will not work abroad, right? So what I mean by that is the packaging, the labeling. You need to look at what the buyers are looking for there. You see, when we talk to small businesses, one of the biggest issues that they always talk about as a challenge is finding buyers abroad, right? And there was a time the NEPC commissioned us to help about 500 Nigerian businesses to export. And when we dug into it, we found out that the issue was not that the buyers are not there. There are tons, thousands of companies, retail stores looking for products, but our products were not meeting the specification that these companies need to have their products online. It was the biggest issue.
What?
So the number one factor
Okay.
for a small business to go international is to know that you need to revamp, you need to modify your product to suit the taste and the desires of buyers out there before you even think of going into export.
What kind of modification are you talking about? Is it about quality of the product, for example, if they are cashew nuts or whatever it is,
Yes.
or we already know
Yes.
we have even problems with our beans, for example, exporting our beans,
Exactly.
they come back
Mhm.
with pesticides and all of that. I don't know how far we've gone for that. So what kind of modification are you talking about? Is it in terms of quality? Is it in terms of packaging? Uh,
So So, well, just like you mentioned for beans, every country has the level that they expect of, maybe certain chemicals. But again, the key modification we're talking about is you need to understand the rules and regulations of a particular product that you're exporting to a particular place, right? So, for example, if you're exporting food products to the USA, there are key requirements that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, in the US and even in Canada will require you to meet in terms of labeling, in terms of packaging, right? But the key thing is the labeling. And then there are some key licenses they are going to want you to have. So again, if you're exporting food, they expect you to have what they call the FDA Food Facility Registration, right? And like you said, knowledge is the key. A lot of these things are easy to get. They are easy, but a lot of people don't know about it, right? So that is probably the biggest challenge that you have, making sure that you understand what is required there and how to meet it. And that is where we help to fill in that knowledge gap for a lot of businesses.
so for those that really want to do that now, perhaps they don't even have access to you, as it were, or
Yes.
to even consultants or professionals that can help them do that. Because when you see these things, sometimes they sound so esoteric and so high-flying
Yeah.
that I can't achieve. What's FDA? FDA is
Yes.
the NAFDAC uh,
Equivalent of,
equivalent, yes.
yes, for the
Yes,
US.
yes, for
Yes.
the US. And other countries also have theirs. So for people listening now and they want to, be able to do that, because I would also admit that when you go into supermarkets now in Nigeria,
Yes.
or even
Mhm.
a few marketplaces, you get to see a lot of made in Nigeria products, as it were.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yes.
always so particular about it. Once I see made in Nigeria
Yes.
products, there's even a made in Nigeria chocolate now. I hope one of these days I'll be able to
Yes.
bring in the lady here on the show to speak to me about her experiences. I get, when I see them on the shelf, you know, I take them. Even our gari now, the way they package it, you'll be like, is it the same gari that I buy with
Exactly.
mudu and all of that? So those are also
Yes.
opportunities I see for those business owners to be able to expand beyond perhaps selling in Nigeria, even selling in Ghana and other countries abroad. So what do you have to say about that?
So look, the opportunity is huge. When I mean the opportunity is huge, the opportunity is huge. And we're not just talking about food products, right? We need to begin looking outside of what everybody else is trying to export. So let me give an example, right? We had a customer who came to us and he's like, he doesn't know how profitable it is. Palm oil.
Yeah.
Now you've extracted the palm oil, you've extracted the palm kernel. Now the rough one, the seed, the cover of the palm kernel that you throw away. Do you know that you can even make money from that by converting it into charcoal and selling? So why am I using that example? I'm using it because, look, there are so many things out there that people are looking for that a lot of small businesses need to go into. It's not just about selling the palm oil. It's not just about selling Gary. You have so many things out there. Look, when I look at the number of things that Nigerians can sell, it's amazing. I always tell people, if you want to know what to sell, go to a place like Amazon that has so many things. Take time, browse it. You are going to see things that we take for granted. Something, when I do trainings on these things, I start bringing out things like lemongrass, things like neem leaves, the dogoyaros and all those things that we see everywhere. These are things that are highly valuable. Soursop leaves, shea butter that
I
is
see there's
everywhere.
neem
You
oil now, lemon oil now. Everything has oil. You know, I'll be
so
like, I'll be like, so all these fruits have oil. There's lemongrass oil, there's neem oil, there's a lot. I'll be like, oh, really? And majority
many.
of these products also have their
The
own
problem
uses.
is we need to understand the vast amount of possibilities that are out there. Take Gary, for example. When I do trainings, everybody wants to sell Gary, everybody wants to sell Gary. But you see that the money is not in Gary, the money is in selling cassava flour, right? Because the cassava flour has a broader application out there than the Gary. A lot of baking factories use cassava flour, for so many things. So those are the key things we need to know. We need to be able to go in there, look at what we have, and think again beyond what we typically use it for.
Okay,
There's so many uses out there for numerous things.
okay. I think at this point, let's bring in our insiders now so that they can ask your question. Who goes first? Can we see insiders? We're talking about expanding your business internationally. So we want to go first. You have Mr. Nduka Udeh, who has been speaking to me at least in the last few minutes about going global. Can we take your questions right now? All right, Musude, while we wait for the, okay, I see that John Udo wants to take a question. All right, John, go ahead, please unmute yourself and ask Mr. Day your question. Can you hear me? Please, can you unmute?
Is
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You have less than 30 seconds. Go ahead. John, I thought I heard you earlier on. Can you ask your question so that we can just enable your video and unmute yourself, please. Time is money. You're on television.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead with your question, please.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. 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 So my question now is, as a beginner, I want him to explain how do I start the export business. I'm not into export, and I want to know what are the criteria. What do I need to do? How do I start? So that's my question.
I think the first question
Okay.
is that you want to start. You must start with something now. Do you want to start exporting a product or a service? But Mr. Udeh, please answer. You can mute your audio now so that Mr. Nduka can come
Yes.
in. Yes.
So you see, just like
Mm-hmm.
Nancy said, the first step is identify the product that
Mm-hmm.
you want to export, right? And this is where a lot of people get it wrong. A lot of people think, again, like I said, that the conventional items, gari, palm oil, all those things are the key things, but they are not. You know, in our system, there is what we call product profitability analysis. You cannot go into export if you have not identified a product. And it's not just about identifying a product, it's about identifying a product that is going to be profitable. Now, when you identify that product, there's a system we call PWS system. The P is the preparation. In the preparation stage, you identify the product, you make sure it is profitable, you make sure the labeling and everything is right for the market you are sending it to. And this can be done whether you are a new or an existing person. And in fact, one of the things that we have seen is that it is easier for a new person to go into export than an existing company. And the reason is simple,
Okay.
because most of the time, existing companies already have products that they are used to. They have the labels, they have the design. So when they want to go into export and you tell them they have to do modifications to these products, they are always reluctant. But if you come in new, you have the capital, you want to go into export, it's easy for you to start afresh, making sure that your product meets where you are going. Now, the second stage is what we call the send, PWS. The S stands for the process of sending. So in that process, you need to identify the licenses and the shipping process. And then the third process is what I call buyer finding. You know, you need to now be able to identify the buyers that will find those products. But why the PWS system is so good is because in the first stage, you have already identified that this product is profitable. You've identified that there's a demand for that product. And with that, it becomes easy to find buyers.
Okay. We have
Right? And there are solutions out there. You have platforms out there. You have things like Helium 10. You have things like Jungle Scout that will enable you to know the products that are in demand in places like Amazon and many stores across the US. So again, it is very easy. Identify the product, know the process to send it, and then the process to find buyers.
Okay. I hope that answers your question because a lot of Nigerians have also noticed that they will say, just give me money, I will start business. I have, everybody's just having an idea. And I said, it's not like that. Someone will say, give me 5 million,
Yes.
give me 1 million, I go find what I go do. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't really work that way. Okay, we have Anthony next. Anthony, please, can you unmute your audio and your video if you aren't live and ask your question, please.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, my question is this. I've not been to the business before, and this is my first time of getting to get a little bit details of it. Now, I'm talking from Port Harcourt City.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I want to go into the area of cassava flour. So what he said. So I don't know the steps I can take. Thank you very much.
Mr. Udeh, over to you.
All right. So going into cassava flour again, this is a 1 hour program. Obviously you're going to need more time to learn about this. But again, if you are going into cassava flour, the first thing again is how do people that are buying the cassava flour out there want the cassava? You need to understand how they want it. Do they want it in 50-kilogram bag? Do they want it in 10 kilogram? Is that what they are using it for? Who are you selling it to? Are you selling it to the big factories, or you are going to be selling it to small bakeries that are buying these products on Amazon? So that is, again, the preparation stage, where in the preparation stage, you determine who the product you are selling, how to package it. You do what we call a demand analysis, that enables you to know that there is a demand for that product, so that when you begin to ship it outside, there are buyers for it, right? And again, obviously, you're going to need to know how to process the cassava into flour to meet the demands of those that you are selling it to before you can go into that. So again, export requires some preparation. I can tell you, most people think the most difficult part or the most essential part of exporting is in the shipping. It's not. The most essential part is taking time to determine that product that is right for you to export. Once you have that right, the buyers will always flow.
Okay, we have Deborah Dewale also on the call. Deborah, please ask your question.
See, I really appreciate you and I appreciate our speaker. What I want to we all understand that the world we are exposed to cyber attack. Now,
yes, go ahead. We can hear you, Deborah.
Okay, what I'm asking is this. I don't know if you can hear.
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
We all understand that there's cyber attacks everywhere. Yahoo. That okay, you are now on Amazon. You've opened a seller account. You've done what you should do. The process of payment, the money is actually coming to you, or you are actually liaising with the right buyer between the buyer to be a victim of cyber attack. Thank you.
Okay.
So you were breaking up at some point. I couldn't hear you clearly, but I believe your question is, if I set up my Amazon account, am I going to be susceptible to cyber attack and all those things in the process of retrieving my money? Definitely not. Look, Amazon is a very secure platform, except you are using a computer where you don't have your antivirus and all those things intact. That's when you'll be worried about those things. You know, people pulling your password because your Norton or your semantic antivirus software is not up to date. Amazon is a very solid platform. You can't hear of cyber attack going on there. And again, when you understand how to sell on a platform like Amazon, you will understand that they have taken measures to prevent all this. When you have your product on Amazon, you don't really do much, right? Because it's there. The platform is there. Buyers are going to flock there, right? Yes, you have to do some things to optimize your product. You know, you have to do some form of advert and all those things. But as they sell, you have your account number that you have put into your Amazon seller account, and Amazon will deposit the funds into that account. It's just the same thing as logging into your bank application or anything. If you don't take the measures to protect your account, if you let somebody have access to your password, if you don't have your antivirus systems in place, then you are susceptible. But apart from that, look, we have close to 200 or more companies that we have helped to sell profitably on Amazon. None of them have ever come back and said they have issues with cyber attack. So I'll tell you, you really don't need to worry about that. Put your systems in place, you'll be in good shape.
How about, okay, let's take this question from Isaiah. Then I have another question for you, Mr. Udeh, and I hope there'll be time for that. Isaiah, please come in now with your question. Is Isaiah ready? Okay, while we wait for Isaiah, Mr. Udeh, I would like you to also take a look at this, because a lot of people would also say that they sell internationally on other platforms apart from Amazon, for example. Some people sell online via Instagram, Facebook, and they have international clients there too. Will that also qualify? Or how can they optimize more than that? Because, for example, some of these platforms can actually also shut down. There was a time that I think Instagram had you know, a hiccup or a glitch. We've seen glitches with these online platforms and all of that. So what would you also tell people that want to expand their businesses, and we've been talking about online and all of that? What can they do beyond some of these platforms?
The solution that we propose and that we push is to sell via what I call a multi-channel system, right? You need to be selling your product not just on Amazon, not just on Instagram, but you must be able to develop yourself so that you are selling in multiple places. You have African stores out there, right? You should be able to reach out to some African stores. You are selling to them. You have stores that are online, Amazon and eBay and Co. You should be able to reach out and sell to them. You should be able to set up your Instagram and Facebook whereby people can come to you from there and they order your products and you sell them to them. You never keep your eggs in one basket, because we've seen people that have an Amazon account that get shut down, right? So imagine if you've built your business to only sell in one channel and something happens. It's going to affect you heavily, right? So that is my advice to anybody who is concerned about this. Look, Each channel has its advantages, but learn to broaden your scope. Learn to sell via multiple channels. And it's very easy to do.
Okay, two questions. How do you, if you want to connect with physical stores abroad, can you actually also do that? Physical stores abroad, and if you want to connect with physical stores abroad, to be able to have that liaison with them, you know,
Yes.
can you do that? Then secondly, with your experience, what are the categories of products that export fast that you can actually earn good FX with? Can you give me a scope?
So the second question was what? The categories of
Of
products, right?
products, yes, that that are moving fast, that I can get
Yes.
export, that I can get FX,
Yes.
yes, very fast. The categories of
Beautiful.
products, yes.
So the first question on how to connect to physical stores is very easy. And like I said, look, we have people who are doing 60, $70,000. They are just selling to 4 African stores, only 4 African stores. We have people who are spending close to 20 million every month just on the shipping. They have connection to multiple African stores. How did they find these African stores? They did their research. They went online. They went to Google. They searched African stores in Houston. A list of the stores came up. They have their details. They started contacting them. They sent them samples of the products that they have. And the store said, we like your product and, come and supply to us. That is how you get access to them. A lot of people think you can just sit down and the stores will come to you. No, you're going to have to do some work, right? It's very easy. Use Google. Google is your friend. Again, I say it. We're in a new dispensation whereby if you want to make money, you must understand the power, the use of the internet. So that
Okay.
is that. Now, in terms of the categories of products that are doing very well, products that people have to order on a regular basis are the best to sell. What are those products? Food, cosmetics, because people must use these products regularly, right? Now, fashion is good, but again, I will tell you where we see the most success is people who are selling food. And again, it's not just about selling food. You need to understand the type of food to sell. I always tell people that if you want to go into food, you need to look for food products that appeals to the masses, not just products that only Nigerians eat. Because again, you are exporting abroad. You have Asians, you have Mexicans, you have so many people. Look for that product that appeal to many people. Food, cosmetics, shea butter. Everybody in the world uses shea butter. Get your shea butter done right. Push these products, food and cosmetics, they do very well.
Okay. Okay. I think because time is not longer our friend, um, um, we just have to end the program today. Today's business clinic is over. It's today, but I'm almost being tempted to say we will have another edition of this. But we're going to speak, of course, after, because like you said, 1 hour isn't enough. This is really a masterclass, which we do here once a month on the show. Of course, Moneyline with Nancy is Monday to Friday on AIT 11 a.m. to 12 noon. But we've brought out 1 hour every month to be able to cater to these kind of needs. So thank you very much, Mr. Udeh, for your insights this morning. And thank you for the insiders that joined us. I know there are also other insiders that are there. And I hope that you've been listening and you've taken insights from today's conversation. Thank you all. And all of you too have a happy Easter. All right, and that's the show today. Thank you all for joining us. That's the show today and actually this week. I'll see you all again next week. Be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. Have a happy Easter, everyone, and cut your coat according to your size. Thank you for watching. In case this is your first time watching us, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, drop your comments as well as like, and most of all, share our content.